Recruiter reached out to me yesterday. This startup requires 12 years of experience post-graduation for an engineering manager position. What? My LinkedIn shows I have 4. Let that sink in for a second. Even at big tech companies with 12 years of experience, you're at a director level position making possibly over $600,000 a year. Yet, these delusional startup executives expect you to work for their crappy company with more workload and less pay? Whoever wrote that job description, have you gone completely insane? I've seen this happen time and time again. Entry-level positions requiring 2 to 3 years of experience post-graduation. It's like the chicken and the egg problem. What comes first, the job or the experience? I'm going to explain to you why there's such a disconnect between reality and expectations in the job market. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some advice on how to navigate it. My experience is mostly as a software engineer, but a lot of it still applies to most career paths in tech. First, you have to understand how lazy and incompetent these execs are. I've seen CTOs who've never written a code in their life. I've seen CROs and COOs who've never managed a business or even make a sale. Startup titles are often bogus. The same goes for big tech. Leadership tends to be hit or miss because the interview process can be gamed and they're mostly hiring based on years of experience. You actually end up hiring low performers. Top performers move around a lot. They're high value, so they're in constant demand. It's also in their best interest to job hop. So the ones that end up racking tons of years at a company in the same role are usually the low performers. Following up from that, these low performers generally suck at recruiting. Go figure. Their method tends to be copy-pasting job descriptions from other companies and reusing it for practically all their posting. Half the time, they couldn't even explain to you what the job description even means. This is why you'll see most job descriptions sounding awfully similar, the same exact technologies, same exact requirements, the same blurbs about fast growth and culture. Heck, I've even seen big tech companies, these are public companies that put Java in their job description for a team that primarily uses Python. They claim it shouldn't matter because you should be language agnostic, but they start grilling you on their tech stack. Now, how do we navigate this? How do we land interviews for positions that have unrealistic expectations and actually pass them? The answer is quite simple. You fake it till you make it. Before you toot your horns, just hear me out for a second.
Tell me, he didn't just say that.
I'm not saying put fake work experience like you've worked at Google and Amazon for the last 2 years. They'll see through that. Also, their background checks will immediately flag you and possibly get you blacklisted. What I'm saying is finesse any project you've ever worked on to look like work experience, possibly as a freelance or a contractor. Exaggerate the work you've already done, even if you've had support from team members. Make it look like you were the sole engineer who led development. You're bending the truth to work in your favor. Be prepared to discuss project specifics on the actual interview. You will most likely be grilled, especially on more complex projects. Continue building more industry relevant projects. Heck, even consider trying to build your own startup. That's how I cracked my first job. I spent 4th year of my university trying to build a company and it completely failed. I have a whole video on that on my channel, but it wasn't a complete waste of time. On my resume, that was my first job ever. Lead software engineer at a pre-seed startup. Led the whole backend development myself, and I even made food deliveries. The comedic relief of being an engineer by day and food deliverer by night does add value to the interview. Subscribe or you'll never land an interview, and watch this video next. Peace.